Game features the Sprague Olympians and the South Salem Saxons. Hello everybody, I'm John Piper. We're at South Salem High School tonight on Valentine's Day for Boys Valley League Basketball featuring the South Salem Saxons and the Sprague Olympians. Joining me in the telecast tonight, Harv Shabothi. Harv, this is a big ball game for both these teams.
Well, it certainly is. For South Salem, there are 2 games out, John, out of the playoffs, and there's only 3 games left to go.
How about the Sprague Olympians?
Well, they were tied for first, and actually they were tied with 2 teams and stumbled after 6 wins in a row against, lost to North Salem. Now they've got to see if they can regain form.
This is also payback time. The first time these 2 teams met at Sprague, Sprague handled South Salem very easily.
Very easily. In fact, South didn't score in double digits in a single quarter in that ball game.
All right, we're looking forward to a good ball game. Good crowd on hand here tonight at South Salem High School. We'll be back right after these messages from our sponsors.
Support for tonight's program is provided by Izzy's Pizza on Commercial Street Southeast. Izzy's is pizza and a whole lot more. By G.I. Joe's. G.I. Joe's, the sports and auto store with 2 convenient locations in Salem. Seize the weekend at G.I. Joe's. By Chemeketa Community College. Chemeketa offers a first-class education close to home. For any career goal, get your start at Chemeketa. And by Portland General Electric. PGE, the power to make a difference.
John Riddle and his parents, Robin and James Riddle. Manager Joe Gomez and Joanne Watson. Statistician Aaron Crockett and Ken and Nancy Crockett. Manager Rebecca Hollenbeck, Brenda and Michael Hollenbeck. Starting lineups for this evening's game. First for the visiting Sprague Olympians. At guard, a 6'1" senior, number 14, Aaron Bliss. At forward, a 6'2" senior, number 30, Aaron Thompson. At guard, a 6'5" junior, number 32, Adam Maston. Forward, a 6' junior, number 34, Joseph Milton. And in the post, a 6'5" senior, number 52, Brad Fillmore. The Olympians are coached by Mr. Steve Maston, assisted by Mike Wilson, Greg Knowles, Eddie Phillips, Robin Hill, and Peter Gertenrich. And now, the starting lineup for the South Salem Saxons. At lonesome guard, a 5'10" junior, number 12, Greg Sasser. At corner, a 6' junior, number 34, Brandon Drake. At post, a 6'5" senior, number 40, John Riddle. At corner, a 6'4" senior, number 44, Russ Wagner. At post, a 6'5" junior, number 50, Chris Harris. The Saxons are coached by Barry Adams, assisted by coaches Chuck Chamberlain, Gene Quilhaw, Gene Phillips, Rodney Howard, and Bob Douglas. Tonight's officials are Jay Reese and Charlie Mitchell.
Glad you could join us on Capital Community Television for Valley League Basketball. John Piper along with Harv Shabothi, and Happy Valentine's Day to you, Harv.
Well, to you too, John. It should be a good ball game tonight.
A good ball game and always a good crowd on hand when South Salem and Sprague get together. This has really become more of a rivalry than the North Salem-South Salem basketball rivalry of the past.
Well, I think that's true. We always refer to the Civil War, but I think for all practical purposes, this is the Civil War of the south side of town right here, and that's kind of for bragging rights of the south side. Last night the girls went at it, tonight the boys.
Couple of players to watch in tonight's ball game. Adam Maston, number 32 from Sprague. He's their do-everything guy, the floor leader, leading scorer. And John Riddle has really come on for the Saxons in the last few weeks. Riddle coming up with 26 points against West Albany on Tuesday night.
This game, John, will be determined by whoever can get the control of the tempo.
Ball goes out of bounds off Brandon Drake, and the Ole's take possession. Sprague in the orange uniforms, South Salem in the white.
Yeah, the Ole's like to play a more controlled, slow-down game. They're only 7th in the league in offense, but 1st in the league in defense. On the other hand, South Salem likes to move the ball up and down the court. They lead the league in scoring. So it will be interesting to see who wins this battle of wills in terms of the tempo of the ball game.
That first ball game with South Salem and Sprague, the Olympians coming out on top rather handily, 50-32. And not very many Saxon teams have ever been held to 32 points.
No, in fact, I think that is a record as far as the fewest points produced by a South Salem team.
First foul of the ball game called on John Riddle, and Adam Maston to the line for 2 shots. Maston averaging 15.7 points per game this season.
And he's not going to miss from the line often, John.
The Olympians on the board first. 7 minutes, 19 seconds to go, first period. Maston with 2 free throws puts the Olympians on top. Greg Sasser running the point for the South Salem Saxons tonight.
John, the Saxons are a very young team. There's only 2 seniors on their roster, as we saw tonight when they introduced the seniors for their final home game of the regular season.
Ball knocked away, but the foul is either going to be on Fillmore or Maston.
Olympians foul is charged to number 34, Joseph Milton, his first personal.
Well, I was wrong on that. It was Joseph Milton. The Olympians collapsing, but a nice inbounds play. Riddle to the basket, blocking foul.
On Fillmore, I believe that one, John.
Sprague foul goes against number 50, Brad Fillmore, his first personal, the second team foul. At the line for the Saxons, John Riddle shooting 2.
Brad Fillmore is a player, of course, Sprague can ill afford to lose. He's really their one tall player out in the court tonight, in most any night. So foul trouble is not something that Mr. Fillmore can afford to get into. They're just not deep at that post.
John Riddle with 1 for 2. Brandon Drake drawing the assignment against Maston.
And that's not an easy one, as you well know.
What a pass by Maston. Aaron Bliss.
Bliss just has a nose for the basketball, John. He finds the open space. He's averaging in double digits, and a lot of that's just pure hustle.
Passed inside to Harris. Harris can't finish, gets the offensive board, and puts it back in the bucket. The Olympians ahead by 1, 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Another nice pass by Maston, this time to Aaron Thompson.
Assist, Adam Maston.
Right to the hoop again is John Riddle. And you can see how his points are going to add up when he gets shots like that. Bliss. The ball was knocked away by Sasser, but he's whistled for the foul.
Well, we talked about establishing tempo, and for about the last minute and a half, it's been going at the Saxon's pace.
His first personal and the second team foul.
A little bit faster than we're used to seeing the Ole offense move.
Brandon Drake called for the foul as he tries to keep track of Maston.
South Salem foul is charged to 34. Brandon Drake, his first personal.
First foul on Brandon tonight. South uses a few more players than Sprague, so foul trouble isn't something that concerns the Saxons quite as much as it does the Olympians.
Ross Wagner switched off on Maston.
How many times is Ross going to guard the point guard?
Bliss with the jumper.
Aaron Bliss.
And when you talk about the Sprague Olympians, you really talk about the big three: Aaron Bliss, Adam Maston, and Brad Fillmore.
Yeah, they're the big scorers. The other two boys, Milton and Aaron Thompson, really are role players. They're capable of being big scorers, and look for them to be a much bigger factor in the offense next year with the graduation of the seniors.
Thompson charged with a blocking foul on the baseline. Ross Wagner will inbound for the Saxons. The jumper by Riddle too strong. Maston with a rebound, and there's one point guard that can go in there and get the rebounds.
Well, what we kind of forget, John, is, and we talked about this before in the past, you're talking about a 6'5" point guard. He's as tall as Fillmore.
Ball on the floor, the Saxons and Olympians
Goes to the Olympians on alternating
tie it up.
possession.
Sprague with the alternating possession.
But that's actually the beauty of Adam Maston when you consider all of his talent and consider how tall he is. Reminds you so much of Mike McShane, same kind of height and same kind of abilities.
A nice play as Aaron Bliss breaks through.
Once again, Adam Maston, excellent assist. And a charging foul.
The charge goes against Ross Wagner, and Ross wanting to get off to a good start in this ball game. He scored only 2 points in the first Sprague ball game, his worst performance of the year, and he was very frustrated during that ball game.
It's the only time he hasn't been in double digits all season, John, and he's starting off with kind of a frustrating night so far tonight.
Maston takes it on himself. Wagner comes up with a rebound. Wagner to the hoop. This time Ross makes sure of it. Our score with 4 minutes 34 seconds to go. Sprague 10, South Salem 7. We're in the first quarter. You're watching the game of the week on Capital Community Television in Salem.
And again, the pace so far very much the Saxons liking, even though they don't have a lead.
Brandon Drake back on Maston. Maston, cross-court pass, and nobody was ready.
Now, there were 3 Oles over there, but the 3 of them couldn't decide who that pass was to.
They're all setting screens for the other guy.
I think so.
A turnover, and the Saxons with an opportunity to get within one or tie with a three-point basket. Ross Wagner, the best three-point shooter on the South Salem team. And there's Aaron Bliss diving on the floor. He's the kind of guy that gets down and dirty, whatever it takes to get that basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Riddle with the jumper, won't stay. Wagner the rebound, the putback too strong. And Thompson finally comes out of there. The Saxons with several opportunities right at the rim, unable to convert.
Not a good development so far. The Saxons really dominating the boards. They're crashing the boards hard, and the Saxons are having a hard time keeping them out of there.
Aaron Bliss wide open. Fillmore doesn't see him. And Sasser is charged with the foul.
You're right. Aaron Bliss has been open most of the night. The South Salem zone seems to be having a little trouble picking him up.
That's the second foul on Greg Sasser already. Sasser, another one of those Saxons that would most likely want to forget that first ball game with Sprague.
Yeah, I think that would be a team decision for sure, John.
3-second violation as Maston was camped in the paint.
Yeah, they waited too long to get that pass inside to him. He was posting up Brandon Drake and simply took too much time getting the ball to him.
Into the ball game for South Salem, number 20, Jaron Jones. Jones averaging almost 8 points a ball game.
Yeah, Jaron comes off the bench and contributes a lot to this offense.
Cross court to Wagner for three. Maston runs out on him. Ball tipped in the air. Harris comes up with it and gets it over the rim and down.
Well, we talked about this before, John. So far, the Saxons crashing the boards, and
Fillmore unable to finish the layup. The Saxons really falling asleep on that one, but Fillmore unable to cash inside to Chris Harris. Harris gathers himself, makes the basket. The Saxons on top by 1. 2 minutes, 34 seconds to go, first period.
board play very impressive so far from the Saxons.
Thompson with a fadeaway.
Field goal, Aaron Thompson.
Aaron Thompson can score, there's no doubt about that, but he really isn't called to do that.
No, he isn't. He does really what the coach asks him to do, but it's kind of like if everybody else is in a scoring drought, Aaron can step up and put that ball in the hoop.
Open is Riddle. Too strong, and Riddle having a little difficulty there with those jumpers. Bliss pulls up, off the mark. Rebound for Milton.
Foul getting the ball, though, John.
The foul goes against Joe Milton.
Joe is an excellent athlete. You know, they have him at a forward, but he's only 6 foot. The smallest starter in the Ole lineup.
Brandon Drake, rather, back in the ball game for the Saxons. Jones passes it right to Maston. Maston with a nice bounce pass to Aaron Bliss.
Real unselfish play so far from Adam Maston. Aaron Bliss has 8 points, all on passes from Maston.
The Saxon defenders both converged on Maston, who very smartly bounced it over, and just talking about a very smart play there by Bliss, but then he comes up with a silly foul.
Olympians foul goes against number 14, Aaron Bliss, his first personal foul, the 15.
15 foul, both teams with 5 team fouls. 1 minute, 11 seconds to go in the first period. Our score, Sprague 14, South Salem 11.
Fortunately, the fouls are pretty well distributed, so while there's 5 fouls on each team so far, there's no one single player in any real danger right now.
That's not a smart direction to go from there.
Harris with the jumper. Chris Harris, very accurate from that range.
Well, Chris has 8 points, and there we go with another touchdown pass.
What a play by Aaron Bliss. Aaron Bliss is going to have a career night with shots like that, and the passes coming again from Maston.
Well, that's 5 assists at least to Maston, because he's assisted on every one of those shots.
Riddle comes up short this time on the jumper, and the Olympians are probably going to look for the last shot of that first period. It's been a good first quarter for both these teams.
Yeah, it really has. The Saxons have gotten the pace they wanted, but Sprague has shown they can play at this pace.
The Ole's send it back out top to Maston, over to Thompson now. And we can look for Maston to take that final shot. Maston tries to dish it off. Riddle got in the way. The ball out of bounds to the Saxons. And we watched Sprague play against McKay on a recent ball game, and they managed to score with a couple of seconds to go in each of the first 3 quarters.
We talked about how efficient they were that night, John. Not tonight.
Our score after 1 quarter, the Sprague Olympians 16, the South Salem Saxons 13. A very good ball game so far, and these two teams pretty evenly matched. We mentioned in our pregame show important ball games for both of these teams with only 3 games to go in the Valley League regular season. Let's take a look at our Valley League boys standings as of tonight.
At the top of the league, the McNary Celtics, South Albany, and Sprague at 12-3, Crescent Valley at 11-4, and then you see North Salem and South Salem at 9-6. So these teams have to win in order to have any chance for that fourth playoff spot. The rest of the teams are obviously out of the playoff picture. West Albany, followed by Corvallis, Lebanon, and just a really difficult year for the McKay Royal Scots. They have struggled. They had some problems with suspensions. They had some injuries. But I think the overall problem is they just did not have any size on that team.
No, they didn't. They did have Danny Aguilar, obviously, one of the more exciting players in the Valley League. But Danny was suspended for a period of time mid-season. That didn't help their cause at all either.
Into the ball game for the Saxons, number 42, Mitch Biscay. But so far, it's just been a passing demonstration by Adam Maston.
He has played beautiful ball tonight, John. He has yet to get himself in the scoring column other than a couple free throws. But boy, was he done the job with the assists.
Riddle with a tough shot. He is fouled. It's going to go against Fillmore. And we are sandwiched between the South Salem fans on our right and the Sprague fans on our left, so it's going to be an interesting night here.
Sandwich is right, John. This game's very well attended, as we might expect on a Valentine's evening.
Tim Cronin, number 24, into the ball game for Sprague, and that's one thing that is kind of a worry for the Sprague Olympians. Not a whole lot of depth on that bench.
Yeah, and Fillmore with 2 fouls again. They're really the only real tall player they have. Well, other than Adam Maston, but Adam plays a lot of guard. Is of course Brad at 6'5".
Riddle comes up with 1 for 2. Still not finding his shooting touch for the night. Andrew Knight, number 30, into the ball game now, guarding Maston, and Coach Barry Adams is going to use a lot of players on Maston. Fillmore is traveling.
Brad's having a few problems tonight. Yeah, I suspect Barry Adams is going to run a lot of people at Sprague. As you mentioned, Sprague not real deep, and as a result, if he can play this faster-paced ball game and get some fatigue factor setting in.
Wagner forces up a shot.
A lot of contact, and who are they going to call it on?
My guess would be Mitch Biscay. But not a good shot by Wagner, and I think he's just feeling a little bit too much pressure tonight. He remembers what happened in that first ball game. No. Really, there was no shot there.
No, there wasn't. And you mentioned only 2 points in that ball game, and boy, he's off to a rough start again tonight.
Maston dumps it off to Joe Milton.
What a passing display, as you said, John. And
the Saxons turn it over as Wagner unable to handle the pass.
Going to see a little bit of pressure now.
The Saxons definitely with more bodies to throw at the Sprague Olympians. After the starting 5 for Sprague, the quality of players really drops off considerably. Biscay almost came up with the steal.
Yeah, we mentioned how young this Saxon team is. There's a lot of players on this bench, sophomores and juniors, that are going to be the nucleus of next year's team. They're very, very deep. Their JV team won their 5th or 6th in a row tonight. Their freshman team has only lost a couple. So things look bright from the future for South.
A good defensive play by John Riddle to knock that one away. Wagner with a pull-up off the iron. Maston chases it down. And over to Fillmore.
What a pass.
Fillmore from Maston. Delay of game warning, Sprague.
Delay of game warning against Sprague. I thought
Jay Reese might call a pushing foul there on Biscay as he
Timeout, South Salem.
gave the Olympian defender a little bit of a shove there. A timeout, 6 minutes, 9 seconds to go. Our score, the Sprague Olympians 20, the South Salem Saxons 14. And something we haven't really seen from the Olympians, a fast break.
Yeah, the Olies, we mentioned, are only the 6th or 7th leading scoring team in the league. They average 55 points per game, which is, South averages more points given up than that. But you're right, John. They have demonstrated tonight that they can play the quick game, and the way they're achieving that, quite frankly, is to not have Maston dominate the scoring, but looking for the open person over and over again, and Adam has found him. First, Aaron Bliss, and on that last play, Fillmore.
The Saxons have been crashing the boards at both ends of the court, and they've got some rebounds, but on the other hand, they've let the Olympians get down court, and with Adam Maston passing the basketball, he's going to find that open guy for the easy shot.
Yeah, that's the price you pay when you crash the boards hard, sometimes it pays in terms of offensive rebounds, but the risk is, just as you say, the fast break opportunity.
Jaron Jones running the point for the Saxons. Harris to the hoop. Lots of contact, but no foul called, and then the rebound corralled by Fillmore, but he could not hang on to it.
Well, Fillmore a little frustrated because I think he felt that he lost the ball out of bounds only because of body contact.
Substitutions for the Sprague Olympians. Thompson back in. Harris right at the rim.
Chris Harris, 10 points, John.
Pete DeMuna is also in for the Sprague Olympians.
Giving Fillmore a break.
Maston, what a move by Adam Maston.
Now watch with Fillmore out of the ball game. We may see Adam become more offense-oriented.
Traveling as Andrew Knight with the quick step to the basket, but unfortunately forgot to dribble the basketball.
Back in the game for the Saxons.
Yeah, Knight does have a lot of quickness. He's impressive. And again, a part of that Saxon future.
Brandon Drake, number 34, back in for the Saxons. Might have the record for the longest shorts in tonight's ball game.
Yeah, I think these guys have picked up a few things from the Wolverines of Michigan.
Maston with a three-point attempt. Jones comes up with it. Bliss falls down. Jones inside for Chris Harris. And the thing I like so much about Chris Harris's game is the soft touch he has around the basket.
Reminds you a little bit of Jeff Rice in that way, doesn't he?
Stolen by Jones, but he is called for the foul.
And now we've got some South fans not too happy.
The South coaching staff applauding the effort by Jaron Jones, but the foul will send, well, it's only the 6th foul. Rather, the 7th foul on the Saxons.
Yeah.
7th foul on the Saxons, so Maston at the line, and if there's one guy you don't want to see going to the line if you're Barry Adams, it's Adam Maston.
Probably the best pure free throw shooter in the league.
The Sprague Olympians, of course, making it to the state tournament last year, winning the consolation championships. A huge achievement for the Sprague team. The South Salem Saxons winning the state championship, but they lost a lot of talent this year.
Yeah, they have, and losing all those seniors is why they have only got 2 seniors with any kind of playing experience on this team.
Wagner for 3, off the iron. Rebounded by Bliss.
A lot of contact again. Yeah, Sprague, John, last year you mentioned their accomplishments. Actually, quite a bit can be said for Coach Steve Maston and his short tenure at Sprague. That was the best record for a Sprague team in 20 years, 14-4 in league, and they're right on the verge of doing it again. And that would be something for a coach to achieve in his first 2 years, what it took 20 years previous for a previous coach to achieve at Sprague.
Maston to the hoop. Maston able to hang in the air, get the soft shot up and down.
Well, we talked about that. As soon as Fillmore went down, Adam Maston has taken it upon himself to become a bigger part of this offense. He had been content to pass earlier. And that might have been a flop, John.
A technical foul called after the foul was called on, see, I think it was on Chris Harris.
Foul and technical foul go against Chris Harris. His first personal, the 8th team foul.
Harris picks up the personal and the technical.
Well, we don't have the benefit of instant replay tonight, but I would have to say Adam Maston did do a masterful job of acting on that one, John. There's no question that he was pushed a bit, but he made it look much worse than it was, and I think that's what got Chris Harris so frustrated.
Maston will be shooting the technical free throws.
Entering the game for the Saxons, number 40, John Riddle.
John Riddle back into the ball game.
Maston line, shooting 1 in bonus.
Yeah, that's really big, John. And we talked about the call, but not only is it the swing in points, but all of a sudden picking up the personal and the technical. All of a sudden, Chris Harris is sitting there with 2 fouls, and you just put the kid who has 12 points in the ball game so far in the bench.
2 shots for the technical.
Maston with 1 for 2. Well, now he's going to shoot another one.
And Sprague gets the ball.
The Olympians, 34, Joseph Milton.
Joe Milton, number 34, back in for the Sprague Olympians. Stay with us at halftime. We're going to have a special report on some activities here at South Salem High School, a school outstanding academic program.
Jamie was having a great game, too.
3 minutes, 28 seconds to go. The Sprague Olympians sitting on a 9-point lead.
Illegal dribble.
Maston called for illegal dribble.
Boy, you don't see that call too often, John. To be quite honest, in today's style of basketball, officials could call that all night long.
Thank goodness they don't.
Yeah. I mean, most of your bigger guards, be it Maston, certainly McShane last year.
The putback of the offensive rebound by Mitch Biscay.
Real good second effort by Biscay.
Number 50, Peter DeMunis. His first personal team
First foul on Pete DeMunis.
Back in the game for the Olympians, number 14.
Mitch, a football player, used his body on that to good advantage.
Aaron Bliss coming back in for the Sprague Olympians. The Saxons definitely with the advantage on the boards, but it's been Adam Maston with his passing and scoring that has gotten Sprague into the lead. Biscay converts the free throw for the three-point play, and Ross Wagner coming back in. Ross has been cold tonight, but he is a scorer.
Well, he is, John, and you know he wants to get back in there. This potentially the final home game of his basketball career, pending making the playoffs, of course.
Ross Wagner, a key part of the Saxon state tournament victory last year as they defeated Barlow in the Rose Garden. A 5-second turnover for the Olympians and a couple of costly turnovers for the Sprague Olympians. The first one by Maston resulting in a three-point play for Biscay.
Yeah, after the foul situation with Harris, Sprague with a real chance to blow this open, but
John Riddle in the paint.
No, didn't happen because they made a couple costly errors. Joe Milton.
That's almost too easy as Joe Milton runs down the court. Nobody picks him up. Maston finds him. Riddle with another rebound. Milton, the kind of guy that you forget about.
Well, very much so, because again, he's not a big part of this offense, although he could be. He could be. He is by far the most athletic of the Olympians.
Wagner forces up another shot, looking for the foul, didn't get it. Thompson turns it over. Bliss.
Backcourt violation.
I was wondering when they were going to call the over and
He
back,
chased
John.
that down. I thought that was going to be a turnover, and it looked like they were going to let Bliss keep the basketball.
That would have been hard to believe. Actually, he was smart retrieving the ball, though, making sure that Saxon didn't pick up the loose ball for an easy lay-in.
Maston down on the floor. Biscay is going to pick up the foul. Biscay and Maston got tangled up, and Biscay, with a little frustration, kind of gave Maston a tap with his foot, and referee Jay Reese was watching.
Unfortunately, it's one of those situations where the referee caught the last of that action, and of course caught the kick by Mitch.
The South Salem Saxons are going to have to play smarter basketball. They've made some silly mistakes tonight.
And part of that's their youth, John.
Back at the free throw line, Adam Maston.
Again, not the guy you want to put there.
Maston averaging almost 16 points a ball game for the Sprague Olympians. Gets a second free throw. 1 minute, 50 seconds to go. Our score, Sprague 31, South Salem 23. A very important Valley League matchup tonight. Inside to Riddle. Riddle is bumped. That could be Fillmore.
It's either Fillmore or Maston. It's got to be one of the two. And it's Maston.
Strike foul is charged to number 32, Adam Maston. His first personal.
Maston picks up the foul in for the South Salem Saxons. Number 32 is Dan Owen.
He replaces Mitch Biscay. John Riddle at the line for the Saxons, shooting 1 and bonus.
Rebounded by Fillmore, as John Riddle having trouble with those free throws tonight. Maston looking over to his dad, Steve Maston, on the bench. Well, perhaps a suggestion on what to do?
I think so. Steve was trying to get his attention to run a particular play, maybe a last shot opportunity. I'm not sure here, John.
Down to 1 minute to go in the first half. Bliss to the rack. Will not stay. And I think that's going to go against Fillmore.
That is Fillmore's third. And not something you want to happen, John. A third foul to one of your key players with less than a minute to go.
Goes against number 52, Brad Fillmore, his third personal, team foul number 9.
Ninth team foul for the Saxons, or rather for the Olympians, so that'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity. South Salem already has committed enough fouls to be in the double bonus. But Riddle has got to be a little frustrated here with his free throw shooting.
There he's got one.
He has missed at least 4 free throws that I can recall. But those two are right on the money.
Well, he's been to the line a lot tonight, which is one good sign. He's getting to the hoop.
.42 seconds to go. Sprague with a 6-point margin. It has been a good half of basketball.
Very good half for both teams. And we may see one more shot, John.
Maston watching the official count off the time.
Looks like they're trying to kill some time, get the ball in Maston's hands.
Thompson back out to Bliss. Clock at 5 seconds. Maston is going to have to put it in the air. Three-point attempt comes up short.
Not well executed, John. Not at all.
That's the end of the first half. Our score, the Sprague Olympians 31 and the South Salem Saxons 25. A good half of basketball. Both coaches will have lots to talk about, though, in the locker room. And we're going to be back. Support for tonight's program is provided by Izzy's Pizza on Commercial Street Southeast. Izzy's is pizza and a whole lot more. By G.I. Joe's. G.I. Joe's, the sports and auto store with 2 convenient locations in Salem. Seize the weekend at G.I. Joe's. By Chemeketa Community College. Chemeketa offers a first-class education close to home. For any career goal, get your start at Chemeketa. And by Portland General Electric. PGE, the power to make a difference.
Located just minutes away from Oregon's state capital is South Salem High School, recognized as a National School of Excellence by the United States Department of Education. While South Salem enjoys its past and present success, the school also focuses its efforts on the future. Here are just a few of the many examples of students, teachers, businesses, and community members working together to assure Oregon's continued success. Oregon's environmental future takes on a global significance in South Salem's Environmental Issues class. This 2-hour block integrates biology, social studies, government, and consumer economics. Students study environmental problems and work individually and in groups to assess the causes and solutions to those problems. The class is also part of an international network of 6 high schools called the 21st Century Schoolhouse. Using internet services donated by a local provider, South Salem students discuss global issues with students in Israel, Japan, Australia, Brazil, and South Africa. The students share research on different areas of the environment and work to craft solutions to other global problems. In the fall of 1997, this global network of students will meet in Salem for an International Youth Environmental Summit. South Salem is currently working to secure public and private sponsors for this landmark education conference. South Salem and Brush College Elementary School have teamed up for a unique learning program thanks to a grant from the Meyer Memorial Trust. Every other month, a group of South Salem students come to Brush College to teach first and second graders about the physics concepts they've learned. The student teachers make science come alive by demonstrating how concepts work and letting the younger kids experiment. The elementary students then work on related projects and communicate with their student instructors via electronic mail and fax machines. The South Salem student instructors return later to see the elementary students demonstrate what they've learned. This innovative partnership encourages students at both levels to become more interested in science through the use of interactive technology. Like other Salem-Keizer high schools, South Salem is partnering with the community to provide students with real-world experiences while benefiting local businesses and organizations. On any given day, dozens of South Salem students leave their classrooms to visit community sites such as the Humane Society,
both Chris Harris and Greg Sasser.
A very good first half for both teams. The Sprague Olympians once again on top by 6, and Maston has just having an outstanding ball game for the Sprague Olympians.
Yeah, when you talk about 8 assists and couple that with 11 points, he's figured in 19 of the 31 points for the Saxons, or for the Olympians.
Sprague with the first possession. Brandon Drake given the assignment against Maston again.
We need to keep an eye on Brad Fillmore. He only has three fouls already.
Aaron Bliss cutting to the hoop. Fillmore finds him as the Olympians with the first score of the second half.
12 points for Bliss tonight, all on fine assist, this time by Fillmore.
Sasser for 3 points. Greg Sasser with a very quiet first half. Spent a lot of time on the bench.
Well, he got those 2 fouls.
But right back the other way is Adam Maston as he hangs in the air. Lofts a very nice soft shot. Nothing but twine. Riddle steps on the baseline.
Deep breath taken by Brad Fillmore. Brad was afraid he had his 4th foul when he heard that whistle.
I'm sure the Saxons are going to try to get Fillmore out of the ball game.
Well, you can't blame them for that strategy. Plus, they've been hitting the boards hard tonight, crashing those boards anyway, John, so that you know they're going to be attacking there.
Maston is called for the foul as the ball was knocked away by Riddle, and Maston, trying to get it back, is charged with pushing off. Both Mastons, Steve and Adam, having a few words with the official.
Second foul on Adam, and I'm not sure I would agree with that one either, John. But then I don't always agree with the referees, as you well know.
I'm surprised to hear that, Harv.
Of course, they don't always agree with me either, obviously. And they have the final say.
Riddle with a little hop and a shot. The Saxons coming out very strong after the second half resumed. Our score, 6 minutes, 28 seconds to go. Sprague 35, South Salem 30.
John Riddle has 10 points.
Cross court to Aaron Thompson.
And Sprague looks like they want to slow it down here a little bit.
Fillmore with a jumper off the iron. Sasser with a rebound. Sasser loses the basketball. It was tipped by an Olympian.
Joe Milton got his hand in there.
Very important for Greg Sasser to get into the offensive flow on this ball game. Inbounds pass stolen by Maston.
3-on-1.
Maston to Bliss, too strong. The tip in. Not sure who tipped that in.
Well, Milton, I'm pretty sure.
And a big block by Adam Maston at the other end as Ross Wagner tries to take it to the hoop.
This is a very, very impressive ball game by number 32 of the Olympians. He's done it all tonight, John.
Milton is called for the foul.
Joe undercut Sasser.
Greg Sasser probably thought he was back on the football field on that play. Sasser, an outstanding running back, wide receiver for the Saxon football team. Wagner was the quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of two-sport athletes on this Saxon team.
And I believe that Ross Wagner is the student body vice president here at South.
Aaron Thompson with a foul.
The foul's starting to add up for the Sprague Olympians. That's their third team foul. And as we mentioned before, not a whole lot of depth on that bench, so a bigger concern for Coach Steve Maston if he gets some players with foul trouble. Nice pass from Sasser to Wagner.
Wagner only 4 points tonight, but that was a big one.
Maston with a jumper.
Field goal by Adam Maston.
You might say
he's playing a ball game, John.
He's feeling it.
He is.
Sasser tries to get it inside to Riddle, knocked away by Fillmore. But Fillmore looking a little bit tentative with those 3 fouls.
We have a substitution coming in for the Oles, and this is early for them.
Chris Harris from the free throw line. A nice high arcing shot.
Well, he's got 14 points, John. The only thing that hurt him was getting that technical and personal together, which forced him to the bench early in that, or late actually, in the second quarter.
Inside to Fillmore, back out to Bliss, over to Maston, finds Joe Milton. And Joe Milton is having himself quite a basketball game tonight, too.
Well, he is, and John, I keep telling you, this guy is going to be a scorer next year when the 3 seniors leave.
Greg Sasser knocks Fillmore to the floor, then cans the short jumper. 5-point margin, 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Sprague 41, South Salem 36. Maston pulls up, will not stay. Ball knocked away by Fillmore.
Entering the game for the Oles.
A lot of contact again by Fillmore.
Tim Cronin, number 24, into the ball game for the Olympians, and Joe Milton has done the job on both ends of the court. Always a good defensive player, but he has gotten himself in position for some easy baskets, and Mr. Maston has found him under the hoop. Sasser with a jumper way off the mark.
Rebound to Adam Maston.
Maston with another rebound. A pass inside. The foul goes against John Riddle.
South Salem foul is charged to number 40, John Riddle. His second
foul on John Riddle. Fillmore really wanted that ball inside. You can sense he wants to touch it too.
The Olympians are going to have to get some touches for Fillmore. Jaron Jackson coming into the ball game.
I think Brad's getting a little frustrated under there. He's working hard and being pushed a lot underneath, and I think he wants a reward of scoring.
Another outstanding inbounds play by the Olympians, and Maston to Bliss.
Bliss with 14 points, John. There's a foul. Who's it on? Brad Fillmore, I believe.
Fillmore
Nope, they're going to...
walking away, shaking his head, but the foul instead, I think, is going to be on Cronin.
Second personal against number
Correction,
14,
it's Aaron Bliss.
Aaron, I think you stole a foul. Aaron came in and got in the referee's way, as I saw Brad Fillmore single to the bench for.
A good inbounds play for the Saxons as Chris Harris right at the rim.
Harris, 16 points.
I'd like to look at Chris Harris's shooting percentage for the night.
Oh, it's excellent. I think he's missed one shot.
Maston going against Wagner. Fillmore almost loses it. Back out to Bliss. The Olympians with a 5-point lead. 3 minutes, 4 seconds to go. Third period. Maston. Guarded by Wagner this time into Bliss. Bliss with the fadeaway. Won't stay. Sasser with the rebound over to Jaron. Tries to get it to Riddle. The pass too high. And Jaron Jones, not a very good pass.
Just a little bit out of control that time where the Saxons trying to take advantage of a fast break that wasn't quite there.
The Saxons in the past have been very effective with that fast break.
Well, it's a style that they like to play.
Fillmore is cut off, and then the ball knocked out of bounds by Jaron Jones as Fillmore trying to get it over to Tim Cronin. Coming back into the ball game for South Salem, number 42, Mitch Biscay, and Harris will take a breather. Also number 30, Andrew Knight, replaces Sasser.
Tim Cronin's only a sophomore, and he's getting some playing time tonight. That's going to be important to the Ole future.
Fillmore over to Maston. Maston has the ball knocked away. Biscay comes up with it. Knocked away by Bliss. Ends up in the South Salem Saxon band.
Excellent hustle by you-know-who, Mr. Hustle himself, Aaron Bliss.
Back in the game for the Ollies, 34, Joseph
Joe Milton comes back in for the Olympians, replacing Aaron Thompson.
Replaces Thompson.
Biscay will inbound the basketball on the far side.
And so far for Brad Fillmore, so good. He's not picked up that fourth foul.
Jones with a jumper way off the mark.
Boy, Ross Wagner did look over the back on that play, John.
Olympian basketball.
The Saxons always look like they want to press, and as soon as the ball gets back in Adam Maston's hands, they retreat.
Maston, nice dish to Fillmore.
Brad Fillmore from Adam Maston.
Boy.
Inside to Riddle.
2 points.
Riddle laying it up
Riddle.
over the front rim, gets it to go down. Still a 5-point margin. The Saxons with a good half, but
And Adam Maston, one of the few times tonight, throws it away.
Adam has been spending a little more time dribbling, and I'm sure Bliss thought he was going to do that again, looked away.
Well, that was the cardinal sin on Bliss's part, is he basically put his eyes on the floor to try to make a move, and one of the things you don't want to do on the court is to take your eyes off the play, and that's what happened on that time to Mr. Bliss.
Jones with a nice dish to Riddle. Riddle too strong, and Cronin comes up with a rebound. Riddle comes up with the foul.
And that's big, John. That's at least the third on Riddle.
That is number 3 on Riddle.
Number 40, John Riddle. His third personal, the second team foul.
Riddle
Doesn't like it. Doesn't like it.
Well, he caused his own problem. When you're a foot away from the basket, you better make the shot. Then you don't have to worry about the rebound foul.
Exactly.
Coming in for the Saxons, number 32, Dan Owen.
Number 32, Levi
And Aaron Thompson right back into the ball game. He did not sit long. But Cronin remains in the ball game. Coach Maston trying to get some more playing time from his bench tonight. So far, it's been successful.
Full court pressure by the Saxons, but once again, they back off once the ball is inbounded to Maston.
Got a hold on one of the Saxons. I believe it's Andrew Knight.
Salem fouls charged to number 42, Mitch Biscay.
Foul goes against Mitch Biscay.
Now, they were both in the area, and Mitch gets it.
That's the third foul on Biscay. Referee Jay Reese telling the players to put a little distance between their bodies.
One of the few times tonight, Adam Maston missed an open player. He had a couple under the hoop that time.
Bliss was open temporarily.
Bliss has been open on a couple of occasions. Once again, they're not picking up that rotation with Bliss. He's had a few open looks tonight. "17 seconds on the clock, John. They're playing for one. They didn't do well with this in the end of the first half, remember. Adam Maston had to throw up a 3, and they're on the verge of having to do that again.
Maston with a tough shot, won't stay.
After 3 quarters, South Salem 40, Sprague 45.
Off-balance jumper by Maston. He really had no choice as the Olympians had let the clock run down or score after 3 quarters. The Sprague Olympians 45, the South Salem Saxons 40. The Olympians led by 6 at the end of the first half. They have been able to really maintain that margin. Both teams played well in that third quarter, but the Saxons unable to get more than a point off that halftime lead.
Well, it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and we talked about this before the ball game started tonight, John. It's not a game the Saxons can lose. They're 2 games out of the playoffs right now. They got to get some help anyway to even have a shot at it. With Crescent Valley having to lose 2 ball games to give South even an opportunity, and then South's got to count on somebody to knock off North too. So it's a long road. But if they lose tonight, they'll be 3 games down with only 2 to go.
Glad you could join us on Capital Community Television. Stay with us. There's still more high school basketball to come. We'll be taping the North Salem at McNary ball game next Tuesday night in Kaiser. And also some exciting community college basketball, as well as Willamette University. And how about that Willamette University men's team? They lost a lot of ball games at the start of the season, but they are playing some excellent basketball right now, and they're right back in the thick of things in the conference race.
They really have a shot at it, John, and we watched that turnaround. We watched them come home after 6 losses in a row on the road, and they have really been sharp.
Owen with the basket, and he's listed as Dan Owen on our program, but our public address announcer calling him Levi, so we'll go with Levi Owen with the drive to the hoop.
It's Levi's first 2 points tonight, first 2 points. And a good time to get him.
The Ole's unable to connect.
That was really unfortunate. Fillmore called for the ball, broke to the hoop, and took his eye off of the pass for just a second, and that's when the pass went right through his hands.
It's a 3-point ball game, 7 minutes, 22 seconds to go. Biscay with a wild shot. Owen in there battling for the rebound.
Adam Maston's going to pick up number 3, I believe.
Foul goes against 32. Adam Maston, his 3rd personal, the 15th foul.
That is the 3rd personal on Maston, but of course, I don't see how Coach Steve Maston can afford to take him out of the ball game.
No, he really can't. And we've seen Brad Fillmore had 3 fouls, and he played an entire quarter without picking up his 4th.
Traveling the call against Andrew Knight.
Well, sometimes I wonder, John, if we're seeing some makeup calls out here tonight. But mass substitutions coming in now for Barry Adams.
Fillmore to the rack. It stays counted, and Fillmore.
That was big, John. That was big.
42. Mitch Biscay, his 4th personal, the 4th team foul. Entering the game for the Saxons,
Biscay with the foul. And an opportunity for Fillmore for the 3-point play. The Olympians leading by 5, 6 minutes, 53 seconds to go.
That was a real big turn. Not only did he make the hoop, got the 4th foul on Biscay, now he gets a chance to make it a 3-point play with this free throw. And it was really big because Fillmore's wanted to get his hands on the ball and get into the offense.
A 6-point margin. Sprague 48, South Salem 42, 6 minutes, 46 seconds to go in our ball game.
We've got the starters back in for the Saxons.
Riddle blocked by Maston.
Second block by Steve Maston. We have him for 10 assists. Don't have a rebound count on him. But he's also scored 15 points. He's just having a whale of a ball game, John. Maybe the best individual effort we've seen all season.
Ball knocked away by Aaron Thompson. The Saxons retain possession. The Olympians only averaging about 56 points per game. They're already up to 48 with 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go.
Of course, they only give up 42, and the Saxons are already at 40.
Harris with the offensive rebound and the putback on the missed shot by Wagner. And Wagner has had a tough time finding the hoop tonight.
Well, he really has, but Chris Harris is more than made up for. Chris at 18 now. All of them of the short variety. All from the paint area.
A 4-point margin, 6 minutes to go. Another beautiful pass by Maston as Fillmore cut along the baseline. caught the pass, turned, and put it softly off the glass. Milton with a steal.
Steal by Milton.
Milton's played a ball game too, John. Very quietly. But 2 key steals.
Maston to Fillmore.
What was interesting was Aaron Thompson was calling you to call a timeout on that, John.
Timeout, Saxon.
Now the Saxons take a timeout. Our score with 5 minutes, 31 seconds to go. Sprague 52, South Salem 44. It was a 4-point ball game all of a sudden. A couple of great passes by Maston to Fillmore at the hoop. It's back up to 8, and Coach Barry Adams has to be concerned. The Saxons unable to stop Maston, both from scoring and getting those assists. And Fillmore, who has had kind of a quiet ball game up until this point, is really starting to work hard. He's getting some confidence. He's calling for the basketball, and there you see Barry Adams, the winningest high school basketball coach in the state of Oregon. Outstanding career here at South Salem and at several other schools. And Mr. Basketball, I guess, for high schools, you could say.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, the interesting point I was going to make on that last play is Aaron Thompson was madly trying to get the officials' attention to call a timeout because Coach Maston had asked him to do that. The officials didn't notice. Then immediately Sprague got that lay in. It was interesting to watch Aaron Thompson all of a sudden signaling to the referees, no, didn't mean it. Sometimes you get lucky.
Hey, it is a great night for basketball. Happy Valentine's Day to you. The Saxon band is here, the cheerleaders from both schools, and lots of students, lots of parents, and lots of community members. 3-pointer off the mark for Jones.
It's a little early for the Saxons to have to do that. They're not into desperation at all. They've still got 5 minutes left in this ball game. They don't need to be firing up the threes.
Maston is called for traveling.
Well, the Sprague fan's not happy. But it's been one of those nights where neither group's fans have been real happy with the officiating.
Wagner with a tough shot, won't stay. Riddle loses the ball. Harris misses the shot. And Fillmore comes up with a rebound. Riddle with just a terrible foul.
Absolutely, and that's his fourth. You know, from my standpoint, while the fans aren't happy, I think the officials are doing a pretty decent job, John. Barry's not happy either, but boy, I tell you, Riddle had no business even trying to contest the ball down at that end of the floor, especially when you have 3 fouls. Not smart basketball.
4 minutes, 34 seconds to go. Sprague with an 8-point lead. Milton brings it back out to Bliss.
Milton so quick.
3-second violation.
3-second violation against the Sprague Olympians.
And Aaron Bliss, when the whistle blew, was not in the key, John.
Jones pulls up. Jaron Jones with a big shot.
Where's he been all night? It's his first 2 points, and Jaron has been scoring about 8 points a ball game.
Another
Excellent
nice pass. Fillmore can't finish. Jones comes up with a basketball. Jones, only a sophomore, has taken a couple of shots in this quarter. Tries again, will not stay, and I don't think Barry Adams wants to see a shot like that when you're down by 6 points.
No, he can work it a little bit better than that. You don't want to take the first opportunity that comes along, especially when it was contested that tough. Now Aaron Thompson trying to get time again, and this time he gets it.
A timeout with 3 minutes, 28 seconds to go. Our score, South Salem 52, Sprague 46. The Olympians had a 6-point lead at the half, 31-25. They have a 6-point lead with 3 minutes, 28 seconds to go. It's been a very well-played ball game by both teams. And again, a great night for basketball on Valentine's Day. I want to take this opportunity to wish my wife Karen a very happy Valentine's Day, also my son Greg and my mom. So happy Valentine's Day.
Well, I'll echo all those sentiments, John. Not your sons and mother, mine, obviously. But yours, too.
I promised her I'd say that tonight.
Well, very good. I'll do the same for Angie.
Our director tonight is Tad Hepner, a student here at South Salem High School, and that's one of the really exciting things about Capital Community Television. We have a lot of students who learn how to use the equipment and help out with these basketball games and other events.
Well, we just have a crackerjack crew. We keep talking about them, John. I don't think that there's another local access group that's nearly as talented as the group we have.
Thompson misses the shot.
That was an excellent pass again, and Aaron Thompson almost converts.
Sasser tries to get it inside to Harris, and I think Harris thought Sasser was going to shoot it. Harris immediately turned to go for the rebound, and the ball went right over his head.
That actually would have been a very, very good play by Greg Sasser, because Harris has been scoring frequently in exactly that area, and he would have been open again.
Time is running out for the Saxons. They're trailing by 6, 2 minutes, 37 seconds to go.
Yeah, they really need to make a stop here. Although as long as they can keep it within 6, that's just 2 3-pointers. They don't want to give it up and make it 8. And unfortunately, they did.
Oh, the Saxons had Maston over in the corner, and Fillmore cut to the hoop for the easy basket. And that's just basketball pure and simple. Go to the hoop. A guy like Adam Maston is going to find you. Wagner is open, off the arm.
Maston got a hand on it.
Ball goes out of bounds off of Fillmore. But Ross Wagner, another tough night. He's been a double-figure scorer the entire season with one exception, and that was against Sprague in the first game. Tonight, he is having a tough time. The shots are not dropping.
No, he's only got 4 points tonight, John. And that'll be the 4th foul on Adam Maston.
Maston tries to block the shot by Riddle.
Foul goes against 32. Adam Maston, his 4th personal, the 6th.
And now Adam has to be very careful.
John Riddle at the line for the Saxons, shooting 2.
Two shots.
If this game happens to go into overtime, they cannot afford to play it without Mr. Maston. Now, if I'm the Saxons, I'm going to go to Ross Wagner over and over again, because that's the man who Adam is guarding, and I realize that Ross isn't having the kind of game that he'd like to have, but now's the time you expect him to step up, challenge Maston, see if he can pick up that 5th foul.
One more free throw for John Riddle. Riddle with 2 free throws brings the Saxons to within 6.
John has 6 free throws tonight. He's had a lot of opportunities there. He, too, playing with 4 fouls. Excellent hands by Joe Milton. Brad Fillmore way out on the top.
Wagner guarding Thompson inside to Fillmore. Fillmore with a nice move, blocked by Riddle. And Milton comes up with a basketball.
Milton with some big plays so far tonight. John, we may have to stand to watch the last few minutes of this one.
The Sprague fans on their feet here.
And rightfully so. They are excited and should be. Big game for their team.
Wagner with the foul. That's the 16th foul. Time is definitely in favor of the Sprague Olympians. 1 minute, 17 seconds to go. Sprague 54, South Salem 48. The Olympians trying to stay in the hunt for that #1 playoff seed in the Valley League, tied with McNary and South Albany.
Unfortunately, the Saxons are down to the point where they have to foul, and you know they're going to make sure, or the Oilers are going to make sure the ball's in Adam Maston's hands.
Sasser charged with the foul for the Saxons. That's the 7th team foul, so shooting opportunities for the Sprague Olympians for the rest of the ball game.
Well, that's really all that Sasser could do. You have a minute and 13 left. You're down by 6. You got to get the ball back. Unfortunately, Adam Maston's about as automatic as you get from this free throw line.
Two free throws for Maston. A minute 13 to go, an 8-point margin.
And now the Saxons have to be thinking in terms of three-pointers.
Cross court to Wagner.
There's a man you want to take it, but it's blocked.
Blocked by Aaron Bliss, and he is slapped around by John Riddle.
Well, the Saxons got it to the man that they wanted to do it. Ross has had 22 three-pointers, but I think the Olympians knew that too.
That should be the 5th team foul on John Riddle. He is out of the ball game. Some discussion now to see whether that is number 4 or number 5. I think it's number 5.
I think so too. And Barry's taking his time.
Barry in the game for the Saxons, number 32, Levi Owen.
Levi Owen, number 32, in, replaces Riddle, who fouled out.
Yeah, John unfortunately committed a couple of fouls that perhaps he shouldn't have earlier in the ball game that cost him here in the end.
You think back to the silly foul he committed after Sprague had picked up the rebound down at their end of the court.
Yeah, that one in particular is the same one I'm thinking of, and I'm sure it's the same one Barry and he are thinking about too.
Wagner comes up with a rebound. Wagner to the hoop. He's too far under the basket. He's charged with an offensive foul as Fillmore.
Player control foul goes against.
Fillmore stood in there and took the charge.
Excellent play by Fillmore, and in fairness to Ross, it's kind of desperation time. The senior trying to take it upon himself. And the foul sends Adam Maston to the line.
I think it's about time to turn out the lights for the South Salem Saxons. They have played hard tonight. They've played well in many respects, but it's just been an outstanding performance by the Sprague Olympians and Adam Maston in particular. He's been involved in just about every type of play you could expect, with scoring the ball, dishing off the ball, rebounding the ball, blocking shots.
He has, but you know, other players who have stepped up tonight, a couple of the role players in particular, Joe Milton on a couple of occasions, John, Aaron Thompson, Brad Fillmore, usual good game, and what hustle we get from Aaron Bliss. What a group of starters they have.
1 for 2 for Maston. Jones tries to take it to the rack.
Sprague foul goes against 34, Joseph Milton. His 4th
Milton picks up his 4th foul.
7th team foul.
Well, fortunately for the Ole's, they got several players now with 4 fouls, but with 40 seconds left, it's kind of academic.
Jones with a 1-and-1 opportunity. Too strong, rebounded by a couple of Ole's. Bliss had the basketball.
Ball goes to Sprague on alternating possession.
Chris Harris tied him up, but it's Sprague basketball on the alternating position. The Olympians with a very comfortable 9-point margin. 38 seconds to go. Sprague 57, South Salem 48. And the Olympians have come to South Salem. They did what they needed to do. They played a little more up-tempo game than we've seen them play in earlier matchups, but they're scoring right around their season average, averaging about 56 points per game. They're at 57 right now. They have controlled the basketball game from start to finish.
And they're going to get a quick fast break. No, excellent defense. Broke it up.
Levi Owen got his hand on it, knocked the ball out of bounds.
Well, this will move the Ole's to 13-3. Last year's record, we remember, was 14-4. And the best in 20 years at the school. They could very easily match that again.
Bliss is fouled by Jones. You still have to look at this Sprague team and wonder what would happen if one of the starters got in foul trouble or was injured. There just is not much on that bench, and Coach Maston using his starters for almost the entire ball game.
Well, the only thing, John, is sometimes you can get away with that. Actually, I really thought last year's South team that won the state championship had excellent starters, and of course 2 good ones that we all know about. But you know, Barry Adams went with that group, his starting 5, for an awful long time too, and managed to get away with it.
Jones misses the three-pointer. Fillmore with another rebound, needs to get the ball out.
And he does, just barely. And I think the Oldies are going to run this clock out. Looks like South's going to be content to do that too. They're not going to make fouls here. Well, I take that back. Yes, they are, with 4 seconds left. I thought the Saxons would be content to let the clock run out.
The Sprague Olympian fans are on their feet applauding their team. A well-deserved round of applause for the Sprague Olympians as they have come into South Salem needing a win to stay in the race for first place. Knowing the Saxons were going to be hungry, the Saxons trying to pick up a 4th place playoff spot.
And it's not going to happen. Big week next week, and it'll be right here in town. The Oldies play both Crescent Valley and South Albany, but they'll be playing it at home. If you want to see great basketball, be at Sprague High School this week.
Bliss misses the first free throw. And the second. Owen with the rebound. The final shot is off the mark. And the Sprague Olympians have defeated the South Salem Saxons in Valley League boys basketball. Our final score, Sprague 59, South Salem 48, and Harv, just an outstanding performance. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Maston and some of the players after the ball game as Sprague came in, did what it needed to do, comes away with a win, and a very satisfying win at that. There's our final score, the Sprague Olympians 59, South Salem 48. And we will be back with a CCTV post-game report right after these messages from our sponsors. Support for tonight's program is provided by Izzy's Pizza on Commercial Street Southeast. Izzy's is pizza and a whole lot more. By G.I. Joe's. G.I. Joe's, the sports and auto store with 2 convenient locations in Salem. Seize the weekend at G.I. Joe's. By Chemeketa Community College. Chemeketa offers a first-class education close to home. For any career goal, get your start at Chemeketa. And by Portland General Electric. PGE, the power to make a difference. A big win tonight for the Sprague Olympians as they defeat the South Salem Saxons. One of the keys, as usual, the play of Adam Maston. Adam, great ball game for you tonight. Much different ball game tonight than that first game with South Salem.
Yeah, the first game at our place, I think they're coming off a few injuries, and we were playing well, and it didn't end up as close as we thought it was going to.
That first half, you were really looking to dish the ball off. Didn't score much, but you had some folks going to the basket, and they were able to convert.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get around the South defenders, which are really tough, and after that, the post guys would come up, and I'd dish off to Fillmore and the other guys underneath, and they'd finish for me.
Another thing that we saw tonight, we haven't seen much of from the Olympians, some fast break opportunities.
We were just taking what the defense was giving us. We were getting back pretty quick, and they weren't at times, and we were just taking what they're giving us.
Looked like the Saxons emphasizing getting the rebound, and you guys able to get some guys out on that fast break behind them.
Yeah, we did. We did a great job getting up the floor, and Bliss, he's always hustling, getting up the floor well. Got a few lay-ins, and Brad did really well tonight.
Brad Fillmore got in some foul trouble, had to sit out a little bit. When he went out, you seemed to want to take control there and started racking up the points yourself.
Yeah, well, Brad's a big part of our offense. We want to go inside to him. He gets the job done, so when he goes out, we want to spread the floor and try to go inside. And Pete does a good job for us. He gets in there, sets mean screens, and blocks out well.
You had some help from Joe Milton tonight, not usually an offensive player, but he was cutting to the hoop, and you got him the ball.
Joe's definitely capable of scoring some points. If he's going to the hoop, he's going to score for us. He does a good job.
You had a tough loss against North Salem on Tuesday night. What was the attitude of the team coming in here tonight?
Well, one of our goals this season was to win league straight out. And we knew that if we didn't win tonight and finish up the rest of our games, that we didn't have a chance. So we came in intense and ready to play tonight.
You've got a couple of tough opponents ahead in the Valley League race. How are you preparing for those teams?
I'm just going out, practicing really hard. Just going out, practicing hard, and we want to win. So I don't think there's going to be any problem coming out hard.
All right, best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Let's bring in Aaron Bliss. Aaron, another strong ball game for you, and the guy we just talked to, I don't think I've seen a better passing performance in that first half in a long time.
Yeah, Adam gets us going in the offense, and I think tonight he had around 15 or 16 assists, and that's the way Adam's played all year long. He's always willing to give the ball up.
You guys really made those points count in that first half. You had guys cutting to the basket, and Maston got you the ball.
Exactly. That's one thing that we knew we had to do tonight, because South Salem plays such good defense, and they're always up in your face. About the only way you can score points a lot of times is just back cutting.
The Saxons working very hard on the boards, but that cost them with some fast breaks you guys were able to get.
Exactly. We got, I think, 2 or 3 in the first half, easy layups.
Maston's performance just outstanding, but also good performances out of the rest of your starters tonight.
Yeah, I think Brad Fillmore really stepped it up tonight. I think Aaron Thompson did too. We all played real good team defense tonight.
What was your attitude coming into tonight's game after that loss to North Salem?
Well, I think we were a little bit down, but we had a couple hard practices over the past couple days, and we just knew this was a game we got to pick ourselves up and play again.
All right, congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Aaron Bliss, one of the keys to this Sprague Olympian team. Coach Steve Maston, congratulations on tonight's ball game. This is much different than your first meeting with the South Salem Saxons.
Well, yes and no. The first game was very close until the fourth quarter, into the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter. And then we ended up pulling away the last couple of minutes of that game and stretched it. This game, that wasn't going to happen. It was just a really well-played game, I thought, and a hard-fought game by both teams.
Outstanding performance by Adam tonight, dishing it off mostly in that first half, and you had guys going to the basket all the time.
Well, Adam did have a really good game. We had him down for 13 assists, and I think that's probably his high, his career high. The kids were getting out in transition, getting down the floor. Adam had a lot of defensive rebounds also, which allowed him just to get the ball and go and then see what was up the floor. And the guys were running the floor, and he advanced the ball, and we got some easy scores. So it's nice to see. And the kids were working extremely hard.
Joe Milton, good ball game for him. He's always been working hard on defense. Got some opportunities to go to the basket tonight, and Adam found him.
Right. Joe's just a really good athlete, and his strength for us this year has been his defense. He's done a tremendous job defensively, and he has a nose for the ball. He knows if Adam's coming down the lane, his man goes to pick him up, he needs to get to the basket, and he did that, and did a good job of it.
Fillmore picked up 3 fouls, had to spend some time on the bench, but he was able to finish the ball game without any more problems.
Right. He did pick up those 3 fouls in the first half, and our weakness is that we're not very deep, and particularly at the post. And so obviously I was very nervous and anxious about that. But he does a good job. He's a smart player, and I told him you can't get another foul in the third quarter. And he did. He worked hard enough defensively, but kind of laid off too when Riddle got the ball inside a little bit. And the other thing we needed to do, and we did, I thought, a better job of in the second half, was helping out on the post with our perimeter defenders, dropping down and giving a hand to Brad.
You had a tough loss with North Salem earlier in the week. What was the attitude of this team coming into tonight's game? Also thinking about South Salem kind of waiting for them after what happened the first game at Sprague.
Well, I think you can see what the attitude of my players were after they lost on Tuesday night. They didn't want to lose again. And, the loss Tuesday night was, I give a lot of credit to North. North just played a really good game. And they did the job down the stretch in the fourth quarter, and we did not. So that's one of the things we talked about in the 2 practices since was that in the fourth quarter, we thought it was going to be a close game here tonight, and we wanted to make sure that we took care of things down the stretch in a close game. And we haven't had a lot of those games this year. We've either been down or we've been up. It hasn't come down to a couple of possessions at the end of the game for us. And so, we worked on that, and I knew the kids were going to come out and play hard, particularly the rivalry that Sprague has with South. I just knew the kids would show up. I wasn't really worried about that at all.
This is a tough place to win for Sprague, so that has to feel especially good.
Well, I told the kids in the locker room that they're history makers, because administration was telling us that Sprague has never beaten South twice in 1 year, so we've accomplished that, and the kids have worked extremely hard to do that, and I'm very proud of them.
A couple of ball games left and some pretty tough opponents for you.
Yes, we have South Albany on Tuesday and Crescent Valley on Friday, and that's the bad news. The good news is that we get to play them at home, and we're very, very tough to beat in our place, and I know the kids know what's on the line, and they're going to come out and they're going to be ready to play both games next week.
You went to the tournament last year winning that consolation. That has to help as you finish out this season having that kind of experience.
I think what it does is it gives the kids that have been there the vision of what it can be like in March to have a week off from school and go up to the tournament and play and enjoy the pinnacle of high school basketball in Oregon. And I think that, honestly, for about the last 3 weeks, I think the kids started to get a vision. We were just kind of stumbling along there for a while, putting some wins together, having a loss or two, and then all of a sudden the kids started saying, hey, I think we might be able to win this thing. And, we're still 2 games away from that, and that's still a long ways away. But, yes, having been there last year, kids who have experience know what it's like to be there. I think it makes a lot of difference in terms of motivation and effort.
Final comments on tonight's ball game.
I just thought our kids played extremely hard, and I knew they were going to play very hard. We got what we expected. We knew South Salem was going to come out and play extremely good defense, and they did that. And I'm just proud of the kids, the way that they came in prepared mentally and physically and executed the game plan that we had, and consequently got the victory.
All right, congratulations. Best of luck next week and in the playoffs.
Thank you, John.
Steve Maston, the coach of the Sprague Olympians, a fine performance by his team defeating the South Salem Saxons on South's home court. And Harv Shibothi, I think one thing we've got to say about this ball game, it was a good ball game for both teams. The Saxons coming up short, but they played fairly well tonight, and the Olympians just a little bit better.
Well, I think that's a great way to assess it. South can not be really disappointed with what they did tonight. It was an all-out effort on their part. It's true, maybe Ross Wagner got a little bit tight, didn't get quite as many points as he would have liked to, but a real fine team effort by Barry Adams' crew.
Let's take a quick look at some of our statistics for tonight's ball game.
Okay, quickly, John, we've got the starters, primarily the scorers for Sprague, and as always, Adam Maston, just a huge ball game, 3 block shots, 18 points, 13 assists. He did it all tonight. 13 points for Brad Fillmore and Aaron Bliss, 14 big points. Joe Milton scoring a little bit more than usual with 8, and Aaron Thompson with 4. The effort was there also for the Saxons. We had 18 points for Chris Harris, a lot of them in the paint area. John Riddle with 14. Jaron Jones contributed 2. Mitch Biscay had 3. Greg Sasser 5. We had Levi Owen with 2. Ross Wagner with 4.
Final comments on tonight's ball game.
Well, you can't play a game much better than we saw Adam Maston play tonight. It was a good team effort as usual. We've gotten accustomed to see all 5 starters contribute for Sprague, and they did it again tonight.
It was a good performance for the Sprague Olympians as they defeat the South Salem Saxons here at South Salem High School. Before we close tonight's telecast, we'd like to thank a few people. First of all, our sponsors once again. Thanks to our CCTV crew. Our director tonight was Tad Hepner. Also thanks to Dave Johnson, the athletic director, and George Dyer, the principal.